I'm going to click on this chicken until it explodes. At which point the majestic pig is brutally served up for torture, which then turns into a cow. We annihilate that and we keep working our way through the food chain. Every time we murder a creature, we get an experience point. Only one because these are all very basic idiots. But you can make a pretty strong argument that I'm actually the idiot for still not installing an auto clicker. But I want to feel the burn. This is animal number 25, which means you have 25 points to spend on Hugh. Hugh does the murdering for me, so now I can kind of sit back and relax. So while little Huey is over there murdering animals, I'm gonna mine some blocks. This gives us little gray houses that we can turn into weapons. So we're gonna get our first weapon called a hand, but that's not gonna be good enough for us. We are doing 2 damage now, so it's less clicking. I want something that like destroys the universe in a few small little clicks. So that is block number 25. We get a better weapon, mob +2. I'm not really sure what mob +2 is. Oh, I didn't realize we could also move up the zones. So now I can mine a harder material worth 16 HP. And I'm going to turn up the animals. I'm doing big damage to animals. Oh, maybe that's damage to mobs +2. Now we can really decimate the wildlife population. I don't really know what I'm going to do with all these experience points, but I'm just having fun hurting things. I hope there's a point at which we get to light things on fire. That's always enjoyable. So we've got 41, now 42 experience points. So we're going to add Omar. And then I'm going to move them on to tier 3 where they're going to fight tier 3 things while I go back to mining blocks because that's less dangerous. All I need to do is save up 85 of these to get a wooden shovel. I can't wait to see what happens when we get diamond or netherite stuff. Should probably be putting more points into these because now we're going to do that much more damage to different things. Like now I can mine these in a few small clicks because we're doing 6 damage per click. So I probably want to keep this one going upgraded because yeah, we're just going to go through this stuff so much faster. Then I'm going to go back and help them on the animals for a second because I want to hire another Hugh. We're basically just going to clone him. Not because I enjoy Hugh, but because I need his extra damage per second. So we doubled our output for damage, which means I can now mine clay in the other area, which is a level 3 material. We're doing 8 damage per click with these. We can upgrade either mob damage or material damage. Actually, this one upgrades both, so I'm just going to give that a few clicks. Now we're doing 10 damage per click here and 12 to idiots that are alive. Okay, we're going to move on to stage 4, which is gravel. It has 45 HP. And when we mine it, it gives us 3 resources per block. So we can really quickly get up to 85 resources held, and then that's going to give us a big extra damage to blocks. 8 extra damage. So now we're doing 18 per click. Look at the next one. 21 damage to mobs, 21 damage to blocks. That's going to be world ending. At least I hope it is. The blocks are also getting a lot tougher, so I can understand why they're getting more aggressive. How much does that give us? 65. I didn't see what we were at before. 65, 110. So that's definitely a big one. Let's just add another 8 damage to blocks right now so I can click less. Now we're fighting mushrooms apparently, so that's okay. We got a time limit to kill these. Luckily, we're up to the task. Didn't realize we're getting bosses over here. But I'm pretty sure hiring these are going to work on our auto abilities. So there we go. We're doing 10 damage per second to mobs without me having to click a single thing. And I'm also going to add Robert, or Roberto if you want to read in the 0. He's going to add 14 damage to mobs automatically. So him by himself, they might be able to take on the mushroom. Albeit very slowly because they are very slow. Then we're going to put in another Hugh. And another Hugh again. That way we're doing 28 damage automatically to these idiots. Then we're going to fill a few more cows, and then we're going to hire 2 more Omars if we can afford it. And that's going to jump us all the way up to 16 blocks per second. And it looks like they can auto mine mushrooms, so I'm going to leave them there. Back on blocks, it didn't take me long at all to afford the resources I need for the wooden pickaxe, plus 21 damage to either block or idiot. The next one is 10 times that damage, which is pretty insane, but now we can farm blocks and stuff that much quicker. And they are able to take on the mushroom fairly nicely, so they're actually piling up resources all by themselves. I should probably move on to the planks acacia instead because I'm going to get that much more resources out of it. I'm getting almost 100 per block now, and we can afford the upgrade again, so we're going to mine even this one really quick, 68 per click. And at this point, it's probably worth spending at $14 per upgrade for 1 damage each, just a whole bunch, because that's just going to add a little bit of damage, actually quite a lot. Going back to the mobs, we're now fighting wolves and skeletons. I already have a way overpowered weapon though, so this isn't super hard. I mean, we are doing 74 damage per click, and they have about 300 health, so it's like 4 clicks. So I should probably save up for hiring Jesse, who's going to add tons of damage to blocks, even though we're murdering animals. Oh, let's move on to area 7 then, so we're just going to get stronger versions of those idiots. But our resources pile level up that much quicker. I think the best one to hire to take over the mobs is going to be Robert times 3, because now we're doing 70 DPS to animals. So not as quick as clicking, but still not that far off. And again, if Hugh's only $40, you might as well give him some upgrades. Because now mobs are up to 80 DPS, so they'll take care of themselves very quickly. And then we move on to stage 8, where it's just more spiders. This is still wooden gear. I wonder if we can get it to the point where things just sort of evaporate, even at this stage in the game. Let's find out. Let's add another 14 damage per second. I guess they are getting stronger pretty quickly though. I mean, their health is draining. We're doing 108 DPS, so it takes about 7 seconds to kill that idiot. And at stage 9, they jump all the way up to 1200 HP, so that's going to be a lot of clicks, but they're giving a lot of experience. So I'm going to buy another Robert or 2 or 3, and then I'm going to let them just kind of coast for a while, killing them. 150 DPS. So while they're 150 DPSing animals, I'm going to work on blocks. Especially because I've saved up enough of these to buy probably 2 more wooden pickaxes, so that's going to add 40 extra damage per click, which means that even the big log oaks at 2200 HP pretty much melt instantly. And I'm getting about 150 resources every time a log dies. And with this defeating of the log, I can afford another wooden axe. It's going to give me plus 220 damage per click and to mobs. And that's pretty good because we're into stage 10, so that means we're fighting bosses. The zombie villager. I can take it down while clicking, but the idiots by themselves cannot. But that's giving me 1200 points per kill, so I'm going to farm this idiot for a while. I'm going to shake him like the baby he is. Then I've saved up 5,000 points. Another mob DPS is going to get 467, so it just jumped up from like 100 to 600 damage per second. So they still can't quite take on the zombie villager by themselves, but they're really close. So while I'm hiring, I'm going to hire a few more Jessies for 775 each. They're just going to get my block automatic production way up too, so they can continue on over here. Farming him some more, going to upgrade my mob damage, so that's going to go up to 1000 DPS. So it takes 18 seconds to kill him, and that's more than enough time to do it. The next idiot to buy costs 42,000, but he mines 3,800 blocks per second. So that's 10 times what we're doing now. For now, I'm just going to buy a few more Jessies, 3 or 4 of them. Then that's going to add tons of blocks per second. Then I'm going to go eat some ice cream and wait for this to kind of gather its resources. Went to eat ice cream, ended up doing the dishes. Here we are with 75,000 whatevers. But we can also upgrade to a stone sword now, and that does 2,250 damage to mobs. So that's a big increase. And I can hire Cal at least once to mine 3,766 blocks every second. So now these are getting chunked down alarmingly quick. Since we have some leftovers, let's upgrade that mob damage. We're gonna need some upgrades anyway. So then they're doing 3,400 damage per second to mobs, 4,300 to resources. So we can move on to Plank's Birch. These have 112,000 HP. Even clicking on them, they move a little bit slowly. But once they're dead, we get 7,000 resources from them, so that's worth it. But I definitely want to keep the mob damage going, so we're going to buy hopefully another 2 of these, and that's an extra 1,000 damage per second to mobs. So before, we didn't have the time to kill the zombies, now we just chunk them away in no time. But I definitely need more clicking damage again, so I'm just going to upgrade the wooden axe as many times as I can. That's going to add several thousand damage per click, and that definitely helps. And that will pay for itself in like 10 seconds flat, so it's a no problem. Maybe since we have all this money again, about 50,000 resources saved up, we'll do another 2,250 damage to mobs. And you know what, we'll do that one more time. So that added almost 5,000 damage per second to mobs. So now the zombie villager is getting chunked even quicker. Oh wait, that refers to clicking damage, doesn't it? I'm upgrading clicking damage to mobs. Well, at least now when I click the zombie, he dies almost one hit. So there's always that. We can save up a lot of resources this way. Plus, I like these resources better anyway. We use these to hire people to do the work for me. So Plank's Birch are just going to mine themselves for a while I eradicate the zombies entirely from the universe. And I very quickly saved up 100,000 experience points, so now I can hire some more people. Well, I'm going to hire one to take on blocks for a little bit since I'm so good at killing zombies. So that just added 7,000 blocks per second, so we're mining 12,000 blocks per second now. And I can just continually murder him in a huge hurry. Now, because there's something wrong with me, I just murdered the zombie villager again and again until I had enough for the next upgrade. So now we can have Bob killing this guy for me. Bob is able to do 38,400 damage per second, which I think should be enough to kill the zombie villager even faster than me, so he's just gonna collapse into the ground again and again and make me rich. I basically just created a high-speed murder factory, and I couldn't be happier about it. And I could probably use some of this money to find a block miner eventually, though that costs 5 million resource points. I can buy Kel for now, though. He costs 51,000, but he's gonna add an extra 3,800 blocks per second, which is an extra 25% or so, which is actually quite a lot. Keep moving up the blocks at least. It's nice and easy to farm the zombie idiot be it for now, so we'll just let him one-shot that for a while. He'll feel good about that. And then, I mean, I can keep upgrading Cal. Every time we buy Cal, it's an extra 3,800 per second. And it really doesn't take long to afford another Cal at the rate the zombie is dying. And I guess I do have enough to buy a stone shovel now, so that does an extra 22,000 hit to the block. Right now we're at 2,000, so that's going to give me about 10 times the damage, so we can mine these super quick too. I love the constant dinging in the background. It should be annoying, but it's a reminder that there's a zombie dying every half a second. And using this, I can just absolutely tear through the blocks here and get tons of resources. I get about 30,000 resources every time I kill a block now, and I kill a block every couple seconds. Saved up another 467,000 experience points. So I'm going to buy another Bob because we're not doing enough damage to the zombie villager, clearly. It actually slowed down somehow, but we're doing 82,000 damage per second, so I think it's time to move on from the zombie villager. Now we're killing these guys, and we're going to go through the levels really quickly because we're one-shotting everything in a hurry. They only have 13,000 health, and we do 82,000 damage. But we'll find out what the next boss is and also one-shot it, and then we'll make lots of resources that way. Until then, I'll just watch things die, just like real life. So level 15, we have Chicken Jockey with 520,000 health. Luckily, we can kill it. Every time we do, we're going to get about 35,000 experience, which is 35 times more than a zombie did. Chicken Jockey is a bit of a tough customer, but he pays well. I can also help if I want. It is nice to take on my hands and beat something to death once in a while. And we're going to have about another 500,000 experience points to spend, so let's do another 39,000 mob damage automatically, which puts you up to 120,000 per second, which means you die in 4 seconds and change. So we're getting almost 10,000 experience points per second, so I won't complain with that. But I definitely need more block production, so I'm going to buy a bunch more Cals. That was, I think, 4, so that's an extra 11,000 per second. Once I destroy this level 14 Lank Oak, that's going to give us 3 million of these resources, which means I can afford the Stone Pickaxe. So we're going to get an extra 121,000 damage to blocks or mobs, which means these go incredibly fast. This actually used to take a lot of clicks. Now it takes like 8 or 9. And those are going to add up resources quick, because every one of these is worth hundreds of thousands of resources. And I can also use all that damage to bully the Chicken Jockey again and again. It's $35,000 per kill, so we're going to get a lot of money. I really just enjoy clicking on things lately. I can't get enough of it, especially when it earns me resources to get even bigger clicks. It's an addictive, vicious cycle. So we're up to 5 million experience points, and just over 5 million means I can buy Jonathan, who's going to add 431,000 blocks per second, so watch the increase in the green line speed. So that's going to make us pretty rich. Our next buy is Patrick. He's going to do 6 million damage per second to mobs, but he's going to cost 69,000 experience points. 69 million. So that's a long ways away. But the blocks in the background have saved up another about 4 million resources, so I can actually buy another stone pickaxe. That adds an extra 120,000 DPS, which basically doubles my output for damage, as long as I'm clicking. So the blocks are getting pretty tough. They don't go away quickly, but the mobs certainly will. So a couple hits and he's dead, but we really should be moving on to the next boss. So we'll work through the zombies that we're one-shotting along the way. Everything dies one little hit. At level 17, they have 400,000 health, so they're a little bit tougher, but I mean, I do so much damage that they can't stop me now. And we're going to find out what the level 20 boss is. It's not a creeper, it's not a wolf, a polar bear, and he's definitely pretty tough. 15 million HP, but every time we kill him, we get 1,000 experience points. Wait, 1 million experience points. I'm just having trouble keeping track of the numbers because the way they're laid out. 1 million experience points for killing the polar bear. And every time we kill the polar bear, we get a free upgrade there, at least for now. We are doing 500,000 damage per second automatically, so we're probably able to kill the polar bear automatically. Maybe more so once I touch this one more time. Yeah, I can see it overtaking it now, I think. It's close, but if we're making that much automatically, we're doing pretty good. Okay, I'm going to speed it up because I'm worried about that one actually not making it, but then I can buy another one. That's probably, yeah, that's got to do it. Yes, we can automatically kill polar bears now for 1 million resource points each. So the upgrades again are basically going to buy themselves. But our block mining friends need some help. We're going to add another Jonathan. Jonathan is going to add an extra 430,000 blocks per second, which means just much more resources. And we're going to put what we've earned in those resources into better pickaxe, so that's going to add an extra 240,000 per click. So polar bears die quicker, blocks get mined quicker. Wow, that actually went really, really quickly because I've got enough to buy another 2 Jonathans now, so that's going to add an extra 1 million blocks per second. So that's chunking away now, which means we can already buy another stone pickaxe, which means we do even more damage per click. And then we're going to do that again just for fun. Our damage per click is getting pretty stupid. Basically 750,000 per click. Again, there's something wrong with me because I saved up the 69 million I needed to hire Patrick. He's going to do 5.8 million damage to mobs. per second. So now the polar bear dies every few seconds all by himself, and I make a lot of resources from that, which means I basically just created a polar bear farm that I'm going to use to hire Jonathans, and that's going to increase my plank spruce mining because a plank spruce is worth a fortune. I might also just kind of max out this for now just because that'll be a quick little boost to extra plank production. All right, then let's grind away towards the next boss. So we're going to leave the polar bear behind. Now we're fighting Enderman and we're killing them almost instantly because, well, our mercenary here does a lot of damage. If I do get in and manually hit him a few times, it does make it a lot quicker. And because of my block mining speed, I've saved up enough to get the stone axe, which is going to increase my mob and block damage by 2.7 million each. So now we're going to be able to manually kill things almost as quickly as our helpers do. Which brings us to our next boss, the Husk. So we can definitely kill him if we're helping. Without the help, I don't think our helpers can do it. That's okay, because I'm sure he's worth a lot of points. When he dies, we go from 57 million to 87 million. That's way more than I thought. So we're getting about 30 million per kill, which is just such a ridiculous amount that I hardly know what to spend it on. But for now, I'm going to spend it on more Patricks. We're going to buy one of those so far. And once he's dead, two of those. That add 12 million damage per second because I want the Husk to auto mine itself. Okay, I think we're there now. I bought one more Patrick, and yeah, that's definitely going down quicker than that. So now we're auto mining husks, and every time we do, that's going to take us something like 20 seconds. We get 30 million. So I'm going to buy more Jonathans that are going to increase the block mining a little bit just because these upgrades seem very cheap suddenly. And because my block mining is doing so good, I've got another 44 million to spend on another stone axe, which is going to be a huge input to my clicking power. It didn't quite double it, but it almost doubled it. So let's buy one more Patrick, who's going to add another 6 million damage per second. So that's going to be a 25% increase still to this speed. And we've upgraded our blocks to level 17. We're now mining cobblestone, which is probably worth a lot. Every time we break one, we get 7,000 resources. Well, I've done it again. I've saved up 702 millions or something, and then we're going to buy an iron sword, which is going to give us 10 times damage to mobs. So now things like this Husk are going to melt away before us. We can kill them so quick, we're going to get so many resources. We were struggling to even kill this guy at first. Now he's laughably easy. But because we're able to kill him so quickly, we saved up enough for Michael. He's going to give us an extra 93,000 blocks per second. So we're going to go from 7,000 to 100,000 blocks per second. Look how quickly that drops now. That was a stupid big upgrade. I think because my clicking is so powerful, I'm just going to farm the Husk for a few seconds because this is just, it's hard to beat this kind of efficiency. That jiggly efficiency. And I've basically already saved up another 1 billion experience points, which means I can buy another Michael, which basically doubles our block mining speed again. So now it's just ripping on past. We've even upgraded to the infamous sponge block, so we get even more resources out of that and still kill it very quickly. In fact, we very quickly got enough for a second iron sword, so that's going to double our damage, which is already stupid, so the Husk dies even quicker. So then we use what we get from the Husk to buy another Michael, which is a 50% improvement again on the block mining speed, which is really stupid. And we're mining blocks so quickly now that I've got enough for a third iron sword already. That took like 5 seconds. And then we've moved on to level 20, which is sandstone. That's going to take a while, but I get it. I bet it's a huge amount of resources. So we'll hire one more Michael to take down the sandstone quicker again. I kind of lost track of numbers. I think there was about a 25% improvement again, which is lots. Okay, well, I'm going to spend about 3 billion resource points on more iron swords. We're going to buy another 3 of them. So we're killing the Husk now in 2 hits, which means we can make our investment back in no time at all. So while we're killing mobs, let's buy more Michaels. I'm not sure how many we can afford at this point, but that's going to mine sandstone quicker, so all the better for us. Let's move on to the next boss. We're in the caves now, so we're killing slimes too. If I let my helpers do it, they're a little bit slow these days. I'm just going to hit them with my sword that one-shots things, because that's a little quicker and more satisfying. Level 29, things have 890 million. I think that translates to billion, but I kind of lost track. Anyways, that's a lot. Level 30 boss is a cave spider, who we can definitely kill fairly quickly. Every time we kill it, that's going to give us a lot. I think about 1 billion experience points. Again, I lost track. That number goes up by 1 now. I think it's 5,000 millions, which should be 5 billion. I guess if I wanted to kill this spider even quicker, I could just buy like 6 of these, which would get me like 6 times the damage I have now. Not quite, but quite a bit more. So now we're killing the spider much quicker, which just means the resources are going up that much faster, and that's all the better for me. In fact, we killed the spider so much so quickly, we can hire someone to kill it for us. That's going to take us from 29,000 DPS to 1.8 million. That's just a huge. The green bar wasn't even moving before, now it's well ahead of the spider, so I don't have to do this anymore. The spider dies by itself. But I think we do well to buy more Michaels to mine these blocks a little bit quicker, because that's not going to get any quicker unless we help it along, but now it's chunking away at least, so that's going to add up very quickly. Just like our spider killing potential. We can already buy another Michael. So I think the correct strategy now that we're into iron weapons is to let the game run for a while, then come back and spend a fortune. We'll get up the diamond.